A wise man will make more opportunities than he finds. Some books should be tasted, some devoured, but only a few should be chewed and digested thoroughly. If a man will begin with certainties, he shall end in doubts, but if he will be content to begin with doubts, he shall end in certainties. Hope is a good breakfast, but it is a bad supper. Imagination was given to man to compensate him for what he is not, a sense of humor to console him for what he is. Begin doing what you want to do now. We are not living in eternity. We have only this moment, sparkling like a star in our hand and melting like a snowflake. Age appears best in four things: old wood to burn, old wine to drink, old friends to trust, and old authors to read. It is a sad fate for a man to die too well known to everybody else, and still unknown to himself. Reading makes a full man, and writing an exact man. And, therefore, if a man write little, he need have a present wit, and if he read little, he need have much cunning to seem to know which he doth not. In taking revenge, a man is but even with his enemy, but in passing it over, he is superior. Read not to contradict and confute, nor to believe and take for granted, but to weigh and consider. There are two ways of spreading light: to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. The general root of superstition, namely, that men observe when things hit, and not when they miss, and commit to memory the one, and forget and pass over the other. If we are to achieve things never before accomplished, we must employ methods never before attempted. There is no comparison between that which is lost by not succeeding and that which is lost by not trying. Philosophy, when superficially studied, excites doubt; when thoroughly explored, it dispels it. The root of all superstition is that men observe when a thing hits, but not when it misses. Write down the thoughts of the moment. Those that come unsought for are commonly the most valuable. Histories make men wise, poets witty, the mathematics subtle, natural philosophy deep, moral, grave, logic and rhetoric able to contend. For a crowd is not company, and faces are but a gallery of pictures, and talk but a tinkling cymbal, where there is no love. A little philosophy inclines man's mind to atheism, but depth in philosophy bringeth men's minds about to religion. He that gives good advice, builds with one hand; he that gives good counsel and example, builds with both; but he that gives good admonition and bad example, builds with one hand and pulls down with the other. He that will not apply new remedies must expect new evils, for time is the greatest innovator. There are but two tragedies in life. One is one's inability to attain one's heart's desire, the other is to have it. Read not to contradict and confute, nor to believe and take for granted, nor to find talk and discourse, but to weigh and consider. Parents who wish to train up their children in the way they should go must go in the way in which they would have their children go. They are ill discoverers that think there is no land, when they can see nothing but sea. To spend too much time in studies is sloth, to use them too much for ornament is affectation, to make judgment holy by their rules is the humor of a scholar. If money be not thy servant, it will be thy master. The covetous man cannot so properly be said to possess wealth, as that may be said to possess him. Choose the life that is most useful, and habit will make it the most agreeable. Travel, in the younger sort, is a part of education, in the elder, a part of experience. He that travelled into a country before he hath some entrance into the language, goes to school, and not to travel. Great art is always a way of concentrating, reinventing what is called fact, what we know of our existence, a reconcentration, tearing away the veils, the attitudes people acquire of their time and earlier time. Really good artists tear down those veils. The virtue of prosperity is temperance, the virtue of adversity is fortitude. If a man is gracious and courteous to strangers, it shows that he is a citizen of the world. The human understanding is of its own nature prone to suppose the existence of more order and regularity in the world than it finds. Men fear death as children fear to go into the dark, and as that natural fear in children is increased with tales, so is the other. A false friend is more dangerous than an open enemy.